So we've been saying to you, some of you liked the analogy, that all of this desire is gathered in what we've been calling a vortex of creation. It's the vibrational version that exists before it manifests into your experience. And we've been saying things to you like when you're in the vortex, when you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, when you're up to speed, when you're a vibrational match to this vortex, then you feel wonderful because there's no resistance within you that is complicating things, that is contradicting things, that is adding static to the equation. You're in the vortex. You feel wonderful. It was such a good analogy. We wrote some books about it. Get in the vortex, get in the vortex, get in the vortex. You finally sent out a collective cry. How? Where is it? I can't see it. It's an imaginary circle that you draw in the air. What is this vortex? And we say it's this conceptual but real, vibrational state of being. And today we're wanting to say to you that you've accumulated enough in this vortex to keep yourselves busy for 20 or 30 lifetimes. Really. It's time to get in there and cash in your chips. And so now we're explaining to you, and it's sort of where we started many years ago, but with more vivid explanation, and you're getting it in a more powerful way. We want you today and forevermore, which is forever, your eternal beings, to focus upon your point of attraction. Your point of attraction. And by that we mean, let's clarify it, your point of manifestation. Now your point of attraction has already occurred. You sifted and declared, you sifted the contrast and came to conclusions. You launched these rockets and they exist. You have created a vibrational reality. You have. But you want, it's the reason you're here in these bodies, you want the manifested version of it. You don't want a virtual lover. We know you don't. You don't want virtual money. You want the spendable kind. And so the way it moves from that vibrational place into your manifested experience, where you can explore the deliciousness of it, the specifics of it, and where maybe even others who are sharing your time-space reality may witness your creation of it. In order to do that, you have to take personal, deliberate control of your grid, of your point of attraction. So as we use the word grid today, and we will, a lot, what we're talking about is your point of attraction. And your point of attraction is happening all the time, whether you know that it is or not. In other words, whatever you've been giving your attention to, you've offered a vibration about, and as you offer a vibration about it, law of attraction makes it easier to offer more vibrations about it. A belief is just a thought you keep thinking. And the beliefs that you hold make up the grid that you've got going on. Now we want to call your attention to this non-physical part of you, this source energy part of you, because that source energy part of you has a grid going on too. And the goal, what you really want, what you want to do in any moment in time, is to focus in such a way that causes you to offer a vibrational output, which causes you to create a point of attraction, which we are calling your grid, a grid that lines up with the grid of the source within you. And when all of that energy is flowing right up from the core of who you are, now you have power. Now you have clarity. Now you are frisky. Now you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Now you have vitality. Now you have clarity. Now you have all of those things. And the most important thing is that in that alignment with all that you are, your point of attraction, the evidence of it is wonderful to behold. Because when you click in with all of those things that you've been putting into your vortex, then in a meaningful, comfortable, logical, sequential, path of least resistance way, everything that you want to its smallest detail flows into your experience in what you experience as the next logical step. It's just the next logical step. Not something that you're going nuts about. It's the next logical step. If you're in the vibrational vicinity of who you really are, then the next logical step is for it to manifest. And we want to appeal to your logic, and then we're going to throw it open for you to talk about whatever you want to talk about. But we want to appeal to your logic about your grid and about the movement of all that you've been gathering, that has been assembled, and that the cooperative components are already gathered around, about the movement of all of this wonderful stuff that you've created flowing into your manifested experience. We want to remind you that you don't want to eat all of the food that you will eat in this lifetime today. You want to eat some of it today, but you want it to come incrementally so that you can savor it and enjoy it, yes? And the same with the contents of your vortex. You don't want it all today. You think you do. Especially those things that you're standing in conscious awareness of the absence of. Oh, Abraham, I'll just take this and this and this and this and this today. And we say, it's coming. It's coming at the speed and in the frequency and in the path of least resistance, in complete and utter and only response to your vibrational tending to your grid, to your point of attraction. We think you've got it. What do you want to talk about? We're eager to talk with you about anything that matters to you. Don't worry about it. We will fill in the cracks. We want you to know, most important, standing on your chair does not help. This gathering gathered before you dragged your physical bodies here. And if you heard what we said, then everything that you want to talk about collectively, all kinds of people around the world participating with us here too. Everything that you've been thinking about, that you want clarity about, is in your vortex. And it is our promise to you that the grid will fill in today with the specifics of what you want to know about. So, where to begin? Most of our human friends still don't really believe that, because they think the circumstances that are surrounding them dictate how they feel. Because most humans are observers of their environment and offers of a vibration that is equal to the environment that they are observing. And that's what makes you feel like you need to control your environment. Can't do it. That's what makes you feel like you need to or want to control your environment. Can't do it. But that's why you keep trying to control your environment. Can't do that. Can't do it. Can't do it. Give it up. 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 Can't do it. You cannot control your environment. And when you stop trying to control your environment, then you have awareness of those emotional signals that let you know what you're doing with your thoughts. But as long as you're still believing that if I could control that environment and make it better, and then I would have a much better relationship with the experience, because if my children were behaving better, or if the government would... We can't even decide which phrase to choose. There are a lot of them that you have been offering. Then I would feel better. Then I would feel better. If that condition would resolve itself, then my observation of it would go so much better for me. And therefore, I think that you need to do something about the way I feel. And the thing that's so tricky about that is that no one is working too hard to control the conditions so that you can feel better, because it's not their job to do it. So where does that leave you? There are all kinds of things that you're looking around at that don't please you. What do? Put your head in the sand? You'd feel better. But we're not really advocating a complete withdrawal from life that annoys you. What we are encouraging is a new determination to focus, and a joyful discovery that you can, first of all, focus, and next, that you can focus in ways that feel good, and next, that when you do, all kinds of resources join you, and the resources that join you are the joyful resources that you've been looking for in the improvement of the conditions that you can't control all along. There, we're done. Now you know everything that's important to know, so just go figure out how to make it work in your life. Because words don't teach, do they? It's only life experience that gives you your understanding. And sometimes we are fortunate enough that we can hit on some words that are meaningful because you've just lived something that makes what we're saying brighten for you, or what you've just lived brighten for you. And that's the advantage of coming together in these collective forums where we can chew together. There's a huge advantage in you all being here on this planet together, interacting with one another and providing for each other relationships with each other and relationships with the environment that you are co-creating together. It's really the best of all worlds. We've enjoyed this interaction more than words can explain, and we've been way out there on the leading edge. We want to compliment you on your willingness to sit and listen to us talk incessantly about the laws of the universe and about the emotions that move through you. We know for sure that as a result of your willingness to just listen, that your vibration has been moved to a different place than it was before we had this conversation. It only takes 17 seconds of non-diluted focus in order to shift vibration, and you have been giving far more than that. 68 seconds of holding yourself in a vibration of well-being will shift your vibration, your point of attraction dramatically enough that that grid must fill in and must fill in today. So we're looking forward to the evidence that you will discover of this energy shift that has taken place as a result of this conversation. You could be unaware of law of attraction. You could have never heard of Abraham or the teachings of Abraham. You could not be making any effort to focus yourself into the things that you want. And you could live happily ever after, because it is the nature of this time-space reality that you live within. In other words, you don't need to know this in order to live well, nor do the people around you. But you are deliberate creators. And there is nothing more exhilarating for deliberate creators than to get your thoughts around what you can specifically do, how you can specifically mold the energy in order to get the results that you want. Because creators want to explore and decide and define the newness that you're reaching for. And then deliberate creators want to find a way of vibrationally allowing that which you've asked for. And nothing is more delicious than then allowing the universe to surprise and delight you in all of the ways that it will. It is our desire that as this grid fills in, and it will, it is our promise to you, that as it fills in, that you take note of the important part that you play in this deciphering process. We want you to feel happy about who you are and pleased that you have come to decide and to ask anew. We want you to feel the appreciation that Source feels for you in the part that you play here. If it were not for you out here on this leading edge, thought would not move beyond that which it is. That's big. If it were not for you participating with one another, you would not be creating vortexes that would be the nucleus or the starting place of the generations that are being born. If it were not for your willingness to explore the contrast and reach toward that which is new, there would be no expansion of the universe. In other words, the part you play is important. But not one of you said, I will sacrifice my joy to play this important role. Not one of you said that. And when you get back to the basics of caring about how you feel and reaching for these general feelings of well-being, you will be rewarded as you have intended to be with the manifestations that you have carved out of this time-space reality. Yes, of course, future generations are going to benefit mightily by your participation here and now. But you are supposed to benefit too, and now. And there is no joy that is greater for us to experience than your conscious acknowledgement of your alignment with that which is us. When you feel that joy radiating through you, we want you to know that what you've discovered is a path to the momentum of the joy that we all feel for you. And when you get there, stop and revel in that just a little bit and acknowledge the good job you've done of getting out of the way and allowing the joy that is natural to you. We spoke a lot of words here today, and you heard almost all of them. We moved a lot of energy here today, and you felt a lot of it. The energy moved significantly here today. It might be leaving you feeling a little like you've had a workout. But what's coming in the next few days, watch for it. It is our promise that it will be evident to you. There is great love here for you. And as always, we remain stubbornly, joyously